Today I'm going to show you how to make chocolate self-saucing pudding. I'm starting by adding half a cup of oil and half a cup of milk. I'm using dairy-free milk, but you can use dairy milk. Then I'm adding 1 egg, which I break into the measuring jug. I would normally use a small bowl for this, but there's no need to dirty an extra bowl. And then we whisk that all together. This is a very quick dessert to make and very delicious. I'm making chocolate self-saucing pudding, but you can make caramel. Now we add half a cup of brown sugar. I've added 2 lots of 1/4 cup there, and whisk that in. While the brown sugar is out, I'm going to get another bowl and measure 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar because we'll need that later. This time the brown sugar is firmly packed, so that means as I measure each 1/4 cup here, I'm pressing it into the measuring cup. I'm going to also add 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. I'm sifting that because it does have a few lumps. If you want your pudding to be more chocolatey, you could add 3 tablespoons, or if you want to make caramel self-saucing pudding, don't add any cocoa powder. Now I put that to the side for later. Next we need to add 1 cup of self-raising flour. I only have plain flour, so I'm adding 1 cup of plain flour plus 2 teaspoons of baking powder. To make self-raising flour, you use 1 cup of plain flour and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then I'm adding 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And again, you could add 3 if you want it more chocolatey, or leave it out altogether if you would rather make caramel self-saucing pudding. Now we mix this together until it's smooth, and I'm going to use a silicone spatula for that. A wooden spoon will be fine too, but this is easier to scrape it into the baking dish in a moment. Now I have the oven already on, set to medium at 180 degrees Celsius. And I have a casserole dish already greased with just a light coating of plain oil. So that's all we have to do for the cake part of the pudding, and we put that into our dish ready to cook. I've had the kettle boiling, so that's ready to go. We're going to need 1.5 cups of boiling water. And then we've got our 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar and 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder here that I'm mixing together. This all becomes the sauce. This gets spread over the top. It is a lot of sugar, but it all turns into sauce. It doesn't stay on the top. And this is definitely a treat food. It's not something you should eat every day. 1.5 cups of boiling water. And I pour this over the top, and I'm using my spoon to break the fall of the boiling water and spread it out over the top. And this goes into the oven where it cooks and the magic happens. It cooks for about 35 minutes. And here it is done. It looks like cake on the top, but underneath, down the bottom, is the chocolate sauce. Make sure you get cake and sauce in each bowl. And this is really good with ice cream. And if you like, you could add some fruit like strawberries.